The Solana price has been consolidating for the last few days now, and as everyone is talking about Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market taking a trip down to the downside, I am thinking that that's not really going to happen. And in today's episode, we're going to look at what's happening in the Solana price as well as in the Bitcoin price to see that something quite big is about to unfold for the crypto market. So guys, in a previous video I had this as our falling wedge. We then had this breakout, we then came back to retest and suddenly been going sideways. But actually this has now created for us another trend line, which we draw across down through here. We can see having multiple touch points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, confirming that this is a significant pattern for us. Also drawing along the bottom, we can now see that we're in this consolidation pattern, and this is on a 4-hour chart, guys. This means that we are very close to having to make a move either to the upside or to the downside. But if we look at the RSI and we draw the RSI in a similar way to the line above, we can see something else happening here, where you can see the RSI is kind of like the precursor. It shows us roughly what's about to happen in the rest of the market. We can see that the RSI was also in a descending triangle, but has also had a breakout. It did have a breakout here, it dropped back inside and is now starting to push and gain strength. And as it's gaining strength, guys, that means that the price chart above it is going to actually have to start reflecting what's going on. Something very similar is also happening over on the Bitcoin chart. So let's take a look at that, and then we'll come back and look at the Solana predictions for today. Okay, so Bitcoin's also playing in this large descending channel, and what we had earlier was a bit of a rejection. We've then been pushed back down, but we are now putting in another green candle. If we had to break from here, that will send Bitcoin back up towards $52,000 and potentially beyond that, back towards pushing for all-time highs. So we've got this wedge pattern here. On the 15-minute chart, we can actually have another very small wedge here, which is now breaking to the upside, and that's what we're seeing now. So what we could potentially see in the next few hours is Bitcoin taking a break to the upside, and we know that when Bitcoin breaks, everything else tends to follow along with it. Down at the RSI, even clearer here on the Bitcoin chart than it is over on the Solana chart, and then we've got these lower highs, and then it breaks out, showing that we are probably going to have a break to the upside. Now, this may potentially get rejected. If it gets rejected, then we will fall to lows around the $37,000 mark, and ultimately Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, everything will probably follow suit and drop far harder. But as I've told you many times before, guys, when everyone in the markets are talking about it going lower and looking for opportunities to buy and lower, that never really happens, and it always kind of goes against the popular belief at the time. Likewise, when it's super high and everyone's telling you to keep buying, ultimately it's going to turn around. So actually what I'm seeing at the moment is that we've had this double bottom, we had this W pattern, we then came back for a retest, we've now had that retest, and we're now pushing back up. So I think the Bitcoin price is going to push out relatively soon in the next few hours, and I think Solana and the rest of the crypto markets will follow suit. If we jump back to Solana, if we were to take a target from this symmetrical triangle and we drop it up here, then we're looking at a target of around $193. But if we take it back and we look at this as a falling wedge, because potentially if we were to drop this line back up here, we could have a falling wedge or sort of a falling microphone type pattern. Then we could take it from the top point here, we could draw it down to the bottom line there where we had our lowest point, and we would then bring this up for a breakout, which would take us to $222, which if you look is just above previous all-time highs. Obviously at all-time high levels we're going to see some significant resistance in my opinion, but we are shaping up for a very big move if we can manage to break above this line. If we don't have a big move to the upside in the coming hours, then we are potentially going to see a fall. And in reality, I think the fall from this could be quite a significant one. As I mentioned, Bitcoin could see a drop to 37,000. Because Solana has a smaller market cap, it will ultimately react more aggressively. Our next kind of point of support, if you like, would be between $100 and around $116. As you notice back here, when we had that dip, we came to about $116. So that could be potentially the bottom for us. But obviously things have been moving quite slowly in Solana as well as the rest of the cryptocurrency markets, and quite typically in September we do often have a slower moving month. But the dollar index at the moment as well has been performing pretty strongly, but that as well is looking to roll over, and when the dollar falls, Bitcoin ultimately and other hedges such as gold will go up. So that's my 2 cents, guys. Obviously take care with trading. Obviously trading is risky. As I mentioned, we are literally in a decision point right now. In my opinion, we're going to have a bullish move, but we need to wait for a confirmation for that to happen. So if we can see a move that's going to push us above around $145. We may come in and find some resistance here, but about $145 plus, I can see us making a good move to the upside, and potentially within the next week or so we could be breaking all-time highs. Now obviously, disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. Go away and do your own research. Trading is risky, and make sure you never risk any more money than you can afford to lose. Guys, hope you've enjoyed today's Solana update. Please hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks very much. Bye bye.